What's good? I'm Fitz, and this is the weekly Smackdown review. So, Smackdown this week starts off with a little recap. Cody and Drew, basically the three stages of Hell match, showing that how Drew won the title. Then we get bagpipes on the entranceway. Drew McIntyre comes out. Bit of a hero's welcome, you deserve it chance when he gets in the ring before he can talk. And then points out that he's the first ever British WWE champion. But then turns around and says to the fans, screw you. Basically, he asks where were the fans when he got screwed out of opportunities, got screwed out of matches, got fired the first time, and so on and so forth. Says that the only person he's got to thank is himself. Addresses that Cody might be expecting a rematch, but explains that Aldis put a clause in the contract, so there's no rematch. So now Cody's got to start from the bottom of the pile again, which kind of makes the fact that, right, we don't have to have them to have a title match and somehow Drew retain on Saturday Night Main Event, because you know that's where it'd have to be. They've already got enough there. They want that fatal four-way that we're going to get the winners of the qualifying matches in this episode of SmackDown on the next Saturday Night Main Event. They're building up that number one contendency. So, yeah, it makes sense, but it'd have been nice for them to throw that in beforehand. So it was like, let's be real, they probably just realised last minute that, oh shit, he's meant to have a rematch clause. But yeah, Randy Orton then interrupts, plans to take the title from Drew again. Obviously, he's the one that dethroned Drew last time. Then Jacob Fatu interrupts, attacks Drew. Fatu chases him through the crowd. Then Miz comes out of nowhere, hits a skull crushing finale. Then when we return from ad break, Miz and Orton are already fighting. Orton ends up beating Miz with an RKO. Orton qualifies. Now he's in the number one contender four-way match. We go to Drew backstage. Ilya Dragunov catches him, like scurrying past, like clutching his title to his chest. Ilya basically says that after tonight he'll be one step closer to the title. There's just a little bit of I'm in the race kind of thing. And then Drew's basically in a rush, so he says like we'll wait and see essentially in it, and gets off. Then we get a Wyatt 6 video where Hardy says that they won't rest until they get the lantern back. Then we get Bliss and Flair backstage. Bliss is asking Flair if she was actually sick. Charlotte's obviously saying, yeah, of course I was sick. It was you that took the title match. I've turned down title matches. Alexa says name two. Charlotte wants to move on, so clearly not turn down title matches, plural, maybe just one. But yeah, and then Bliss says that she's going to go and get ready. Alexa walks off. Charlotte's then left alone. Instantly approached by Nia and Lash. So don't know how quick these are or how close or far away they were, but there's no way Alexa didn't know they were there. But yeah, Alexa walks off. They're having this private conversation, and suddenly within 2 seconds we've got them right next to Charlotte. So yeah, a bit crazy that. But yeah, Nia's basically planting the seeds to Charlotte, like, oh, see, this is why you shouldn't be friends with Alexa. Charlotte kind of backs it, says she understands why Alexa don't want to be friends with Nia, and says that Lash Legends changed. Walks off. Then obviously, next up we've got Julia and Kiana James fighting the two that we just saw preparing backstage, Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss. There's a weird cut in the match. Again, it seems to be a trait with this Netflix deal, like they keep cutting random stuff out of matches. Don't really know why, cause when we do seem to get bits of footage elsewhere, like nothing seems to be botched or wrong, or so yeah, I don't know. Where are we up to now? Sorry, I mean, my eyesight's not the best. Got the specs on, and my handwriting is atrocious today. Um, yeah, then Bliss ends up getting the win, pinning Kiana James with the sister Abigail. As soon as the match is finished, Nia and Lash attack Charlotte and um, Alexa. Then basically, when them two get out the ring, Julia squares up to Nia, and she has to be held back by Kiana James. I don't know really, like, well, you can see where this is going. There's gonna be like a fatal four women's tag team match for the title or some madness. But really trying to show how thick the women's tag team division could be. Then we get a MFT short video backstage with the lantern. Solo's basically saying he wants to bring the title to the family. Then we get a Cody in ring promo. He says that, funnily enough, he believes he's in a city that deserves a WrestleMania, which gets a huge pop. And then we get him declaring that he's going to be the first entry in the Royal Rumble. Then we also get him saying that he owes Fatu a receipt, saying that Fatu's a young veteran, so he understands this terminology. Then we get a Matt Cardona backstage interview. He's saying that he wants the title, reminds that he faced Drew in Drew's first ever WWE match. His debut was against Zack Ryder. So he's saying that there's history there with the champion and former champion, and he looks forward to fighting either of them essentially. Then we get Trick versus Cardona. Trick gets the pin with the trick shot. Fairly basic match. Then we get a Kit Wilson entrance. Priest backstage, quick interview thing saying that he'll deal with a numbers game tonight against Solo. He doesn't mind. Back to Kit in the ring. Quick little promo. Then Fatu attacks Kit, takes the mic, calls out Cody. Cody and Fatu then brawl in the rings, get separated by official, and yeah, it's basically announced shortly after that, after the ad break, that Fatu and Cody are going to be fighting at Saturday night's main event on the same night that the Fatal 4-Way for the #1 contendership at the Rumble is. Then we get Solo versus Damian Priest mid-match blackout. The Wyatt Six are now on the announce table. They attack the MFT. Solo's kind of left alone. Solo kind of in control, gets distracted with trying to kiss the lantern to like showboat, whatever. Ends up getting beat by the South of Heaven. Yeah, at the end, MFT end up getting away with the lantern still, so Wyatt Six is still feuding with them, trying to chase this lantern. Then we get a Drew and Sami Zayn backstage segment. Sammy's motivated, ready to try and he's determined his time is now, kind of thing. Drew reminds that he's beat Sammy 11 times and Sammy's never once beat Drew, which is actually a really crazy statistic when you deep it. Then we've got Carmelo Hayes Open Challenge. Then we get the X Division champion of TNA, Leon Slater from Bradford, UK. This was a really good match. There was another weird cut in the match which annoyed me after knowing how good this match was. Yeah, we was getting Leon Slater chance, this is Autumn chance, like very early in the match. It was a very, very good match. I've even wrote in the notes here that it would be a really good WrestleMania match or a rivalry. Even a tag team with these would be really good. Yeah, sure, and even in the notes, surely WWE's got to sign him. Like, this reminds me of, was it Cedric Alexander, where Triple H came back out and let everyone know basically straight after he lost the match for the contract that, look, he's getting signed. That it's got to be. Leon Slater really did step up and show that he deserves to be on the big product, the main company in it. Then yeah, let's get to the end of that. Carmelo wins with a top rope cutter. Post match, little nod of respect from both of them. Really like the fact that that's kind of left open. Let's see where that one goes. Tamatonga then sees Nakamura watching that backstage. Says the US titles, it's out of Nakamura's reach now. Like, he's basically had his chance and he's lost it. So he's saying that when he brings the title to the MFT, he wants Nakamura to stay out of his way. Nakamura does a little Japanese promo talking to him. I don't know what it says. Obviously, they're trying to allude to the history in Japan that them two have got. Obviously, I'm not aware of it, so might have to go back and do a little bit of research if this feud really does take off. Then we get Gargano and LeRae walking through the backstage. Gargano's boasting he can't believe it worked last week, putting the mask on, whatever. Then as he's walking backstage, he sees two axioms. Frazier ends up laying him out. He reveals that it's Nathan Frazier all along, and next week he's got a match with Gargano. Next up, we've got Jordan Grace versus Chelsea. Chelsea enters, we go to an ad break, get an Obafemi package vignette type thing. Then we're still on Chelsea's entrance. Then we get Jordan Grace's entrance, and it turns out Jade Cargill's already ringside, sat near the announcers. Like, it was a bit of a weird, weird entrance layout, but it is what it is. Then we've got in the match a few spots where Jordan Grace was trying to get this little clap thing going, and it was like she wanted to clap, and then she goes and hits a big move, but she just wasn't timing it right and hitting it mid clap, or it's timing off on that still. I don't know, but it was essentially a squash match. After the match, she says that she's glad that Jade got an up close view. Basically, she wants to have a title fight right here, right now. Jade Cargill gets up on the ring apron. She's kind of in her face talking. Chelsea Green gets up and screams as she's running behind Jordan Grace, kind of telegraphs what's happening. Jordan Grace moves. As soon as she moves, Chelsea hits Jade Cargill. Obviously, in the ring, the titles on the floor. Jordan Grace picks it up, has a little moment, throws it back down to Jade Cargill. You know where this is going. Then we get Trick Williams backstage saying that he's put in the locker room on notice. Damian Priest interferes, basically says that Trick likes to talk a lot and challenges him to a match before the Fatal 4-Way. So Priest isn't intimidated. Now we get the main event of Ilya Dragunov and Sami Zayn. Sami Zayn wins with a Helluva kick. Just decent match, but 10 minutes. What more is there to say about it? The Fatal 4-Way is now going to be locked in. It's Orton versus Trick Williams versus Priest versus Sami Zayn for next week at Saturday night's main event for the title shot at Drew. And right at the very end, before Sammy gets to celebrate, we get Trick Williams laying him out with a trick shot where he pulls down his knee pad and hits him with the bare knee. Closes the show. Sammy laid out. Trick saying that he's going to be running this for a long time. So, all in all, not a bad episode, but a lot of filler, a lot of weird cuts. I'd have really liked to have seen Leon Slater and Carmelo Hayes last longer and without cuts and ad breaks, but it is what it is. You know what to expect with SmackDown and Raw these days. Well, pretty much anything. I'm sure WrestleMania is gonna have ad breaks somewhere in that, and I won't be surprised to see it during a match at some point. But we'll wait and see, innit? But yeah, guys, that's the end of the episode there. Let's see what happens next SmackDown, and then the following night on Saturday night main event. Obviously, SmackDown's gonna be seen as like the post show for that, so hopefully entertaining episode ahead. But yeah, man, catch you on the next one.